And welcome to the Talon Outdoors Show. I'm Charlie.
I'm JD.
And I'm Grant.
Did you forget?
Yeah. No, it's been one of them. It's been one of them days already.
Say hello, Fred.
Hey, it's Fred.
Paul, it's your turn.
Captain Paul Tire.
For those of you on watching this on YouTube, Fred, you got to turn towards it. You got to get that mic out of the way for a second.
What?
You know, just this is Fred in his
normal
environment.
Normal work.
There you go. You can have the mic back.
Normal work attire.
Hey, I wore this just
a
for
bow
you.
tie.
Looks so sharpy like he fell off a wedding cake.
I wore this ridiculous thing for you.
Yeah. Well, do they make ties in your size, or do you?
I tied this bow tie on my own this morning.
I'm like regular. If you like regular long ties, do you look like Trump?
That's why he's wearing a bow tie.
Or do you look like Trump coming down the escalator with the
Trump tie? He wears that tie like below his crotch.
I know.
Well, that's what Charlie was insinuating, sir. Was
That's
that
what I'm
a
saying,
normal size tie on you would look more like a loincloth?
Yeah, one of them.
Put that on, you could go sans clothing the rest of the way and then hide everything.
One of them Aborigines that
Wouldn't
runs
take much.
around and they got the thing that just kind of hangs over and barely covers. I always wondered.
You don't stop. I guarantee you briars affect them.
Yeah.
They can't walk through no briar patch.
Yeah, I was like, they don't quail hunt that. I don't know. Who came up with that design of clothing?
I reckon they did for their environment. They don't have briars, and they probably don't have quail hunting.
It's like when you go to these stores that sell these chic jeans that come with holes already in. Why you want to buy a pair of jeans already?
Oh man, I give my daughter so much. They every time, and I do this religiously. Every time they come out of their room in the morning or evening with the holes in the breeches, the pre-cut holes, I'm like, baby, we can afford you some new pants.
But they cost more with the holes in them.
Yeah, I know. But I just give them they're like, oh yeah, they get so.
They wear that at school?
Huh? Yeah.
We go. Not in Jackson County. You can't. We have a dress code.
Well, they have a dress code too, and they can only be down around the knees. They can't be up high.
None of that.
What about the kids that got wore-out breeches? Because I wore-out breeches to school because that's what I had. You don't
wear stuff like that at school. Not in Jackson County.
Mom would iron them patches on there.
Well, they better get down there to the Eckards and get them some of them iron-on denim patches.
You remember what I know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I think you can still get them in the sewing section at the Walmart.
I saw them in the Flying J the other day. There was some iron-on patches in there.
Yes, sir. I remember them things. It's like stiff as a poker too. You put them things on and you just if you had too many, you couldn't bend your knee.
Yeah.
I used to wear holey jeans in high school back in the day. It really wasn't in, but once I got those holes in them, and I was in class rubbing on that denim trying to make all that stuff peel up and then go away. You'd wash them. Before long, you might be wearing cutouts with chaps on because that's about all you had. You had something around your shoes, down around your calf, and then from the knee up to about the crotch, it was a bunch of holes. I'm like, you would wear some Daisy Dukes and some chaps, and you'd be affected. It'd be the same thing. That's a scary thought, but still.
I was going to say, I got a bad visual on that.
That's a JD and Daisy Dukes is something that it's just kind of like them raffle girls at the DU banquet.
Oh man, did you go to Ducks?
Yeah,
the DU banquet. I didn't go. You did go.
This is the Lake Ammonia.
Which chapter was it?
Lake Ammonia. That's one I got.
Lake Ammonia. Yeah, I've never been to that one.
So they this year they always give you a hat, and for whatever reason, our grand poobah, whatever you call him,
illustrious potentate.
Yeah, that one. The potentate. That's what we're going to call
illustrious.
him. Illustrious. He is illustrious. And he ordered these hats for big heads, and that doesn't work for me.
This is a Richardson cap. So generally it's the last two holes for me.
Yeah, so Charlie gets the big head, and they got to leave the price tag on it.
Mini pearl.
Yeah. That fits. That actually fits me in the last two holes.
Now, so
very much like this other Richardson hat I got with
now,
Charlie,
last two holes. Being the duck hunter you are, what kind of duck is that on the front? And don't say tuxedo or black and white or whatever. There's another one up there on the wall right up there. That stuff, that one is that taxidermy piece.
It's going to depend where you're
same
from.
Duck.
You told me one time it was I don't know.
All right, so if you're from Tallahassee, it's called a bull neck. If you're from somewhere else, you call it a ring neck.
Mm-hmm.
Ring neck.
Or a blackjack. I've heard them called it.
What ain't a ring around his neck?
What?
Ain't no ring around
yes,
his
there
neck.
is.
Not in that.
Yeah,
not in that. There ain't.
No, but if you shot one, you'd see it.
It's not a.
Well, if I could see the ring, I would have known that. But you didn't.
It's not
you pointed to me on the wall. There is a duck flying straight towards me. It looks like an F4U Corsair coming in for a strafing
That's
run.
about how fast they fly.
That's
too.
right.
And,
And they sound kind of the same way
and
when
I
they
can't
zoom
see
over you.
I mean,
I'm the one that hung that duck on the wall, but I don't remember what I put up there.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
they sound like Tom Cruise coming in for the kill.
there ain't no better sound before
But
daylight.
I tell you what,
Well, that gun wood duck sound about like that in the mist on a misty morning when I'm sitting in a cypress bottom.
They ain't nothing else got nothing on that thing right there when he's.
You can't slow him down. You can put a little corn out there. Might slow him down a little bit.
Oh, I can slow him down with some number 4s.
You got to lead them.
Just kidding, Mr. Game Warden.
So I can share a duck hunting experience. Once upon a time in Ocheesee Pond, and we had our spot, and we're out there, and we've been there.
When I was duck hunting.
So, one time at Bandcamp. Yeah, so we're out there one morning, and when we got there and got set up, we were expecting a cloudy morning. Well, it wasn't. It was a beautiful, clear morning. Well, we're sitting out there, and the birds didn't move. It was warm. And then we stayed a little bit later than we normally do, and we took our stove out there and cooked a little breakfast, and we sitting in the boats or whatever. Well, about 9:30 or 10 o'clock on the horizon, you just see this dark gray, low set of clouds coming, this front line. It was super defined front line. And the wind in front of it starts hitting you, and the temperature is just... It was like one of them. Remember the movie Day After Tomorrow or whatever, where this just Arctic air coming. It was just like this. Holy crap! This amazing thing is going on right now, and with this front line, and we're just kind of sitting there watching the weather, going, "This is pretty cool," because you're seeing it off coming across in the distance, and just out of nowhere, you start hearing this. Sounding just like jet airplanes, and looking around, though, that's ducks. Yeah. We could hear them.
But you can't see them.
Can't see them. And they're literally, it looked like a bunch of Stuka dive bombers coming out of those cloud banks. That front was pushing those birds, and they were just on an absolute vertical trajectory, and they started dropping in on us, and they dropping straight out of the sky and pulling up and trying to sit in the decoys. And there was 4 of us out there witnessing this amazing thing that morning, and killed a limit like that. And we sat there for another hour watching those birds and listening to that, and and that's why I go duck hunting right there.
That right there.
Did he got a shotgun in each hand on one of those swivel chairs, and he's just
out there
like anti-aircraft fire.
Yeah, there was with his judge, 2 of them.
If they made 410 steel
I shot my limit with each gun.
It's like Yosemite Sam.
Yeah, but that's one of the reasons that I love the outdoors so much. Had a great hunting experience Wednesday afternoon with my 14-year-old.
Did you get one?
Yeah. Killed a couple of does.
Okay.
We're trying to thin down the herd at my lease up there, and but the coolest thing, I showed y'all pictures of my trophy squirrel that I want to kill, right? And I didn't take a 22 with me, but we got this fox squirrel up there that is legal to hunt in Georgia, and I really want to kill him because he's beautiful, and I want to stuff him and get him mounted. He's black and white, or black and silver. Like
I saw his picture.
Yeah. Anyway, we watched him come all the way across the food plot, all the way down the mowed trail to the tree stand, and climb the tree that's 3 foot away from my buck hut, from the blind there, and got to watch all this. And I had a scent dispenser out there. This big, tall. It looks like about a half of a mag light. It's this black aluminum, silver, shiny thing, and he's all black on the belly, and he's coming down the trail, and he sees that scent dispenser, and he jumps up, and he stands up, and he's like dancing around. I think he's trying to think he's fixing to fight this thing. I'll show you. I got a video. I got a great video of it. We'll have to put it on the thing. But it's the funniest thing watching that squirrel see when he first saw that scent dispenser. He's going, what's happening here?
You sir, challenged me, and you smell.
You smell funny, and we're gonna fight.
Have an odd aroma about you, sir. We'll be right back. And welcome to the Talon Outdoors Show. I'm trying some after
you've done that already.
No, I did that, didn't you?
Yeah, you're supposed to.
Well, I would start over again.
But we don't do that.
We don't do that. We never do that. We own our screw ups.
I got this. And we're back.
Nah, you got to get lower than that.
That's all I got, brother. And we're back.
So I'm looking at the phone. Just what I'm doing, I'm controlling the camera from my phone here. If you're watching on YouTube or Rumble or
Spotify.
MySpace or Spotify.
MySpace.
or OnlyFans or whatever.
Oh, hold on a minute. Easy.
We make some money there.
No, we go broke.
What we do is we just turn Fred loose, telling all the stories on and then charge. No, stop. So
I was thinking about putting my coot.
Only space, OnlyFans, whatever.
MySpace coot.
What is that? Is that what you gave JD?
Yeah.
Okay. So you got a
hat and he got a coot.
Yeah, I don't know what he's going to do with that.
I actually have a couple dozen coot decoys that I use on Lake Seminole.
Yeah.
Yep, because ringnecks and a lot of the other divers.
You always want to throw a couple of coots in there.
You want to mix them in because it would be unnatural for them. If you got a bunch of ducks around, you're going to have.
But you got old coots. This is a new coot.
I've got some old coots and I've got some new coots. I ain't got no shiny coots like that.
We're getting to be old coots.
I am an old coot.
That is a shiny coot.
Oh, hey! Earlier today, I was talking to a client of mine, and I don't think about how old people are when I'm talking to them. I just don't. And she goes, I need you to find this on a security camera. This is so and so, and this is he's looking. And he said, I said, well, can you describe him to me because I hear his name in these in shift reports all the time. But I don't know what he looks like. Well, he's a white guy and he's kind of skinny, but he's got gray hair, and he's an older fella, probably in his 50s. And I'm like.
All right, those fighting words. Right.
So like me, yeah, but with hair.
With hair. She wasn't. She said he was skinny, right? So she ain't talking about me.
No. And then I pulled him up on camera, and yeah, he looked about like you.
Mm. It wasn't me because I don't even know where you were at.
Hair and about your build. I don't know where she got skinny from. But
what was he doing?
It was one of those things where they might hire you, one of them.
Did you give him a card?
No, I don't.
How much money do we get for handing your cards out? Because I'm game. If you get me a stack of them, I'll hand them out. I'll just go ride around and pitch them out the window to people.
Yeah, I mean, I had some that I was going to bring in today, but there was an accident down the road, and I threw them all out.
Riding by, flipping them like when you got a deck of cards and you're throwing them in a trash can.
Oh, yeah, I can get it.
He's really good at that. He can
put it right in the back of the ambulance. I mean,
if you just hold your hand out and close your fingers, he can stick one between each set of fingers you got right there. You can catch them all.
I can hit every, what do you call them thing, gurney laid. If there's like 4 people injured laid out on the road, I can hit it.
The guy rolls into the ER and they're switching him from the gurney over to the hospital bed, and they go, where do these business cards come from? That gum, Fred strikes again.
And just on the safe side,
I didn't even see him this time.
Yeah, I know. I got a preacher's collar that I follow up with.
Well, his last wishes were that we sue you for.
Yep.
Man, the other day I was dropping Tater off at soccer training, and this person was I was driving in the driveway area, and the other person was driving out, and they were like taking. I'm in a F-250 4-wheel drive crew cab, big old truck, right, with mirrors sticking out. And this guy was driving a little Subaru, and he was taking his half right out of the middle.
Doesn't that make you mad?
Coming towards me, Yeah. So I had to basically stop, ease over as far as I could get and stop and wait on him to go by. And I was just about to hang the International Peace Treaty sign out the window, because I was mad because it was just uncalled for. Mm-hmm. And he got within visual range of where I could see the driver, and he had one of them little white...
He was a breacher.
He had on a black shirt and one of them little white things right in the middle of it, and I said, Lord, forgive me for my thoughts. I do apologize.
Shouldn't matter.
You can't flip off a
Shouldn't
preacher.
matter.
I'm sorry, I am not going to fly the flag to a preacher.
No, you don't
I'm not going to do it.
You don't do that.
even if I'm Baptist, my preacher don't wear nothing like that. But
there you go. That ain't your religion. Then go on and.
You know why Baptists don't make love standing up?
Oh no!
Somebody might think they're dancing.
Oh, there you go. All right, clean joke. Whew, you never know, Fred.
And I've told this, but you know the difference between Baptists and Methodists, don't you? Methodists will at least acknowledge each other at the liquor store.
Yep. You see, I'm Anglican. We meet there. Yeah.
Charlie's Mormon. He can't even talk about it.
I don't. What do you mean? I was talking to my daughter the other day about drinking, and I was taking them to school yesterday, the day before, and I was talking about the smell of marijuana and weed and medical marijuana and all that stuff, and just trying to. She's. My son's 11, she's 15, fixing to be 16. These things I got to worry about. At that point, we got to talk about it. Mm-hmm. I talked about how disappointed I would be, if she were to do something like that. But then again, I have to be honest too, and that weed and alcohol are really not. I mean, they're like kissing cousins. They're pretty close. They it's. I
don't know. I take the good elf over most.
Yeah.
Over a weed joint.
Yeah, I mean, and like I was anyway. So I'm having these. It's hard to have this conversation nowadays when we have as a society just acknowledged, generally as a rule that hey, we're just going to legalize all this stuff. We're just going to make it socially acceptable. It was one thing. When JD and I we've made arrests on small amounts, big amounts, but it wasn't like we made our bones over something. It generally was a way to get to something bigger than that. I smell weed. Next thing you know, I'm arresting you for those 15 outstanding burglary warrants you got for you. It's just a way to get you detained, and you're just arresting stupid people. But you see way more DUIs than you see. DUIs based off of drug, because you've got to get a dadgum expert in there, right?
Yeah, well,
they used to.
These days, you have what's known as a DRE or drug recognition expert, which is a cop who took a week-long class.
And they talk, and I know we had Andy Dawson. We had a bunch of them over the years that were DRE experts, and it was kind of this hoodoo stuff going on. As I could look at their eyes and do this stuff, and they'd go in there and they'd come out and go, okay, I can testify that this person is under the influence. And I'm like, I could have told you that. I'm just not qualified to testify.
I mean,
the bag of Doritos usually gives it away.
Yeah, those cases, the marijuana DUI cases, which it is illegal to get stoned and drive, just so you know.
Even off a medical.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's also illegal to get completely messed up with cough syrup and go drive too.
You can't do that. You can't take oxycodone. You
can't have a loaded gun in your hand in the state of Florida if you're under the influence.
Yeah, you can have it in your pocket.
No, you can have it in your pocket. Yeah. You just can't have it in your hand.
Yeah, that's why I shoot from my feet.
It needs to be readily available for immediate use, and it's loaded, and in your hand. You can't be in the parking lot drunk showing your buddy your new shotgun if the gun's loaded, because you could potentially.
That is a redneck's favorite pastime. I mean,
so there's not a lot of cases made.
Yeah.
So, but you were saying about the DRE stuff. I mean,
they these days juries don't like to convict on the. I looked at your eyes and I could tell you were X amount of marijuana impaired. But if there's a video, I mean, anybody with common sense can look at a videotape and say, yeah, that guy's out of it, or no, that cop's gone.
How's the ad doing a body cameras?
I think it's great. I think it does a couple of things. One, if your client is not guilty, that videotape's going to show it. Mm-hmm. But then you have some clients that come in and they remember things differently. And when you show them,
tell.
Can you get me a please, sir?
You show them the tape, and I'm like, no, that's you wearing the women's dress crawling out of the pond, and you're married, and you probably don't want to show that in court.
I'm assuming that really happened.
It did.
Oh, jeez.
I'm going to go home with that one, honey. I'm just going to go ahead and plead. It's going to be cheaper if we just plead.
That's when you look at it and say, "Look, dude, that's you're going to have to plead to this." I mean,
this is going to be on the news.
Let me get you a good deal.
You're going to be on America's something videos of YouTube, or you'll be like right up there with the family food bloopers or
bloopers,
yeah.
America's Funniest Videos.
Yeah. So the video, other than, I mean, it's proving your client, it's helping your client sometimes, but then again, it also convinces them that maybe they did something wrong.
It's helped resolve cases. Is what it's done. So I think it's great.
I was a big fan. I hated the idea most of my career, and towards the end, as society started to shift, we saw it on the horizon. I started becoming a big fan of it, because then, and from an officer point of view, for me, it was always, as a supervisor, as a watch commander on the road, I wanted to get there. So when people called and says, "Your deputy did blah, 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 blah," I could go, okay, let me go back and let's look at the instant replay, sir.
So, I mean, you look at this case that just came down from Florida Supreme Court that allowed the officers' names and the shootings to be released. Well, those were on video. Those shootings were, and anybody can go look. You can still look at them today, and you can look at those shootings and go, those are justified shootings, and that's good. That's good for the officer. We all want the truth.
Yep, and that's the ultimate. What you just said right there is we're going to find out the truth one way or the other, and and there's always a way to. Unfortunately, you got both sides of the argument sometimes trying to spin the truth too.
I wouldn't do anything like that.
Well, you can even take video and look at the video. Doesn't show everything. It shows a one-dimensional view, two-dimensional view argument, but still. I think it puts us in a much better place than we've been before, especially for the defensive officers in our world. Hey, we'll be right back. And welcome back. See, I got it right that time.
There it is.
There it is. So, so I want to talk on the bottom of the hour segment about this weekend. If you are listening to the show Saturday, was it December 9th?
You got me.
10th.
Yeah.
9th and the 10th, going on right now. If you're listening to this later on, that's old news. But I promise some of the people over at FWC that we discussed this, that in Jackson County, Washington County, and Holmes County right now, this weekend there's doe days in that zone. And but this weekend, anything that you kill, there's mandatory reporting for. Mandatory reporting is always the case in Florida right now. Mandatory inspection for CWD, and there are stations set up now. I can't list them all on the radio, but if you'll go to our Facebook page, either Talon Range of Dothan or Talon Range, Talon Tactical Outfitters and Talon Range, there's a post on there that I put out Thursday night, and it links to the press release, and it has all of the various locations, and there's a whole bunch of them. Now, they're not going to take your buck, your big trophy buck. They're going to take some samples. So you need the head and about 4 to 6 inches of the neck to go to the testing station. So if you report that you killed a deer this weekend,
you might want to go ahead and have that done. You need
to go get that done, because it was an executive order. It is mandatory. Yeah. Now, I don't know what the consequences are, and I don't know that they're going to put out the task force or bring all those new IRS agents they're hiring in to help them or something. But I would suggest you do it. They've had so far, I think the last the Thanksgiving rifle weekend, they had like 400 samples sent in. Which was pretty much voluntary, and so we're getting a lot of participation.
Have they started getting any results back yet? Did you
so far, the results that they've gotten in so far, there have been no cases tested positive.
It's fantastic news. And, let's hope it continues that direction. That would be stellar news.
If there's no positive case, what was the reason for doing it?
They had a positive case.
They had one positive case.
They found a doe
Okay.
on the roadkill doe that was that tested
June,
positive.
June of this year?
Yeah, back in the summer.
Okay. And which is one case, so it didn't
Which is
spread through the-
roadkill is very common. If you're going to have CWD, you're going to find it first probably in roadkill because they get confused and they walk out in traffic and do stupid stuff, get hit, and then they're laying there. And so they actually were asking, and George Worthen, who's the state director of wildlife management, I think, he was on the show. He actually could have done a call in today, but we hadn't figured that technology out just yet. But I want to make sure that we covered this so that everybody knows. They go to their website. On both of their Go Hunting in Florida Facebook page and the FWC Facebook page, and then all our Facebook pages, and I've shared it. There's no reason for you to say
you ain't heard about it.
You hadn't heard about it or know where to
us.
go. It's pretty doggone easy. There's taxidermists and stores and intersections and all kinds of stuff.
Processors and
and if you listen to us in South Alabama, listen, this borders you. I know that the True Value in Rehoboth has a freezer drop-off spot there to leave a head.
Yeah.
You just bring the head.
Them
stick it in
deer
the
up
bag.
there don't know what
They don't know where the state line is. No,
for sure.
and the thing is they've even got a testing station down in Calhoun County in Bluntstown. So if you're down that way, and I've been exercising some depredation tags and giving the heads over to FWC down in South Jackson County where it's not required, but it just to see, because we don't want, here's the thing, is knowing about it's not going to stop it, but at least
we can start making a plan to stop it.
The sad part is they're going to make you quit piling up corn.
Yeah.
But
it is
which is in that high risk area. That's what they did, because that's what it takes to. It's not going to keep you from hunting. You just have to plant some food plots.
So what I did, and I'm in South Georgia. I'm hunting in South Georgia, and when my feeders ran out of the first filling of my feeders hold about 250 pounds of corn apiece, 250, 300 pounds of corn. When they went empty when I started feeding this last time, I filled them up before the season, well before the season. When they ran out, I quit. I quit spreading it. I quit putting out shell corn. What I started doing was buying ear corn, dried ear corn, and I go out there and I spread it over a much broader area, and you're not going to have two deer eating the same corn cob.
That's actually a good idea. You can buy that. I saw some at McCoy's the other day. All right, we'll see. We'll be right back in just a minute. And we're back. So we just had a whole segment off the air.
We do that regular.
Yeah, we try to squeeze all this in the.
Well, it's just like,
so.
it's kind of like what the show is. It's a bunch of buddies sitting around a campfire, so we ain't got no fire in here. But
show about nothing.
It's a show about nothing, sitting around a campfire. So we're friends. We like to sit around and talk. And
we should get one of those Snoop Dogg smoke stoves and put it right over there. That doesn't smoke,
What?
What?
Snoop Dogg said he was giving up smoke, and what he was talking about was a smokeless stove. He wasn't giving up the. He wasn't.
He ain't quitting weed.
He's still weeding out.
We'll get us. We'll go around here to the corner to True Leave and get us a thing of gummies and put on the counter.
That'd make a great show.
About 6 or 7 into them, it'd be like.
Acid Doritos. Go out there and raid the snack.
Well, you're talking about that. We talked about our after hours show that we want to get started. The problem with doing our after hours show
is this after hours,
and JD likes to go home every day. So it's going to have to be an afternoon after hours.
Some day drinking involved.
Well, it's a concept.
Honey, you got to come get me. I'm done.
We got the guy. Well, the managers in here are dying to get started. They're in there, getting episodes ready and talking about, hey, we want to talk about this. And first show we're going to do this. First show we're going to do that. And I'm like, y'all got to talk. I'll stay late. You got to talk JD into staying late.
If you take sweet tea and you put it in a glass, in a whiskey glass, ain't nobody gonna know. I could be drinking sweet tea and drive myself home.
Yeah, can you imagine if they were filming like westerns at the bar, and I had a hard time believing that back in the day that
they
people
drinking?
showed up hot and tired and dusty off of the trail, walked into the
Whiskey
saloon
straight
and started and drank a whole bottle of whiskey straight without getting any water in the meantime, by the way.
or eating nothing.
Or eating nothing.
Well, and you know, I explained. My wife, we were watching Bass Reeves the other night, the latest episode.
See how I segued into that for you?
We were watching
I was wondering what you were doing.
and he came in and was having a bad day and started drinking shots of whiskey.
That's a good day.
Well, yeah, but he drank all of it.
That's a better
And he
day.
was still upright, vertical, and walking and talking.
I need to meet this guy.
After a fifth.
I need to
or
meet
quart
him.
of whiskey.
Yeah.
And she goes, how in the world would he? And I said, probably because of the quality of the whiskey. There wasn't no such thing as beverage department
sure it
back
was
then.
watered down.
It was probably heavily watered down, and much like alcohol content of a Bud Light at 2.3% or whatever. So. Yeah, back in them days, there wasn't no regulations on whiskey, and you probably were getting 80% water and 20% whiskey in a bottle because they'd fill when that bottle got empty, they'd go behind the bar out of a barrel and fill it back up.
Well,
again.
they kept the good stuff down over there. You reach down and hold on, let me give you that, and they get that, and that's a whole different story.
Yeah. So it doesn't surprise me they were able to,
Speaking of which, I have a surprise coming for you, and I'm not going to tell you what it is, but you very much enjoyed it on the trip.
Okay.
It's our Christmas from the company.
Okay. Cool. It's going to be interesting.
The self-restraint.
Well, last year he got me. He is super thoughtful, and I'm not.
I spend his money.
He spends my money on me, and that's okay. So I had talked about
I spent my money on that.
I had talked about Mad Magazine.
Oh, you got a Mad magazine?
Yeah, I got a Mad magazine. It was my favorite Mad magazine ever, which was Alfred E. Newman as Raiders of the Lost Ark. They did a Raiders of the Lost Ark spoof with Alfred E. Newman playing.
And that's what you wanted for Christmas?
No, he just mentioned.
I had mentioned
had
it
one
when I was a kid. I had that magazine, and it was a great.
Okay, it's kind of like my iguana. Yeah.
Comic strip, and what? Anyway, Charlie found one of these things. It was printed in like 1980.
Okay.
And in pristine condition, in a plastic bag, and bought it for me, and I thought that was cool.
That's
gave it to him.
like my iguana.
I was like, holy cow!
I wish we'd have had the YouTube video stuff then, because that was pretty cool.
You could show the Mad magazine.
Hey, I don't do crap for anybody. I don't remember birthdays. I don't do, but every once in a blue moon, something to just jump at me and go, hey, that would be cool.
Yeah, but Indiana Jones was Alfred E. Newman, and
Okay.
it was the whole, anyway, it was funny.
So yeah, that's how I got the iguana. I mean, I just kind of mentioned it'd be kind of cool
Fun
to
to
have
have
one of
an
those as a
iguana.
pet, and I'll wake up Christmas morning,
And there he was.
there he was.
Be careful
Still
what you
got
wish
it.
for, and you
Now he's in my office. 'cause
Freaking
he got
out your
kicked
clients.
out of the house.
How long them things live?
40 years in captivity. He's gonna outlive me.
he's down at the animal shelter going, hey,
Don't turn him loose. Don't turn him loose because they have taken over South
yeah.
Florida, and that's going to be. By the way, that's probably our next hunting trip. I'm going to put this together. I'm going to make this
Iguana hunt?
happen. Yes, sir.
I don't know if I can
I'm
do
gonna
that.
make it happen.
Elvis is my
I want to go
iguana.
down there one of those golf courses where all those rich people are.
That's what I'm talking about. They're in
Shoot-
South Florida.
shoot 'em with an air gun in their backyard?
I'm telling you.
Hey, what are you doing?
I'm
you
telling
don't
you.
worry about it. You get out of my
You
place.
have to wear like Bermuda shorts and black socks and white shoes, patent leather.
I think
What you
it's-
do is you
that's
run around with some golf clubs on a golf cart, and then you reach in there and you take that cover, the head cover off of it, and
like
pull the
polo.
air gun out and toop, shove it back in there and go.
I thought you was going to
I'm
do it like
afraid that
polo.
iguana fell down dead. Then they go there.
I thought you were going to do it like polo, driving the golf cart and somebody hanging out the other side with the
You know,
golf
That'd be
club.
fun too. We'd end up in a water hazard, stuck in a one of them sand pits or something.
You know good and well they're going to do the
You got a
shooting
4-wheel
hours.
drive?
When they do the shooting hours on that, it's going to be short, so you can get the early bird special, like at the villages.
Yeah.
Hey man, we got our limit yet? No. Well, let's play the back nine.
There ain't no limit on them, by the way.
There's no. I mean,
No,
I hear they eat
they're
good.
highly invasive, and they're supposedly delicious, and I want to
like
give it
chicken.
a try.
I don't know. That's just that.
Chicken of the trees.
I wonder if it's more like
Chicken
snake
of the
or more
trees.
like chicken.
Chicken of the trees.
You've eaten snake,
Yeah,
right?
it's kinda
Oh,
like-
I've eaten snake.
Yeah,
It's not
snake.
bad.
Snake. Well, there's not a lot of meat on it.
It's just
It's
it's mostly the fried, the batter when you eat snake. But
Yeah.
Hardest part for me for eating snake is nobody ever gives it to me. I have to clean it. I don't like snakes.
I know.
Seeing me skinning a snake and cleaning a snake is like I'm out there with pliers. Well, just grab it with your hand. No, I ain't touching it, but I'll eat it once it's just meat. And even when you skin it and the meat's still sitting there, if it's
Still looks
fresh,
like a snake.
it
It's still wiggling.
It still moves around, and you're like,
I ain't eating no snake.
That's kind of like frog legs when you go, if you don't pull that nerve out of the frog legs, when you cut a pair of frog legs off, you drop that joker in the grease and he's
Just
liable to
swimming
jump
away.
out. It was liable to jump out. I have seen it happen. I have seen it happen. Yeah.
But you know that'd be fun to do to a kid. You know, throw the frog in there, he hops around.
Oh, I'm telling you, they will jump out of a skillet. You better deep fry him with a lot of freeboard because he will jump out of a skillet.
I might do that to my wife tonight.
on my skillets. I did. We did our Christmas a little early this year. My wife was, we've been running the same pots and pans since we got married 23 years ago, and her aunt Lisa gave her a few pieces of cooking utensils from All Clads, like stainless steel.
Oh, yeah,
really
that's good
high.
stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Well, guess what she got? She's already got it. It was a whole. I went through and found some stuff on sale from All Clad. I ordered her a whole set of kitchen stuff, and we started unboxing all that stuff last night. And I'm thinking, I think I went a little overboard. Get
All
the rest of
Clad's
that
good
stuff out of here. Yeah, I mean, occasionally I get in there. Here's the thing: it's easier to clean, and so that's the reason I like it, because that other stuff, the finish is starting to get, worn on it, which meant you had to scrub.
Yeah,
See,
so-
I'll spend money if I know I can be lazier. If the amount of money I spend directly is proportional to the amount of laziness that I have. So if
Yeah.
I can find a way to do something easier,
I'll tell you how
I'll
to clean
spend money
those
on
pots.
it. What's that?
I'll tell you how to clean those pots. What you do is
I
you
leave them in the sink and the magic sink, and they get clean.
Kind of like the
if
magic laundry bin.
Yeah, the magic sink, the magic laundry bin is usually that leads to a big bruise on top of my head.
Anyway,
All Clad skillet.
so how will
All right,
she
so-
clean it?
So if you got like a Le Creuset or an All Clad or that kind of thing, what you want to do is take some OxyClean in the powder and mix you up and let it sit in there overnight. Look like brand new pan.
Really?
Yeah, stainless steel. Get all that goo off there. If you're cooking
I'm
like.
sure there's no chemical residue or anything you got to worry about being.
No,
in food.
you get you one of them little scrubby looking. What do you call those things?
Scrunchy,
Scotch guard.
scrunchy.
Yeah.
We'll be right back.
Scrunchy.
And we're back. So you were talking about cleaning that pan. With
Yeah,
you use a teal scrunchie for that. Is that what you? It's got to be teal.
So we're going to talk about
Sponge daddy.
pans, or we're going to
Scrub
talk
daddy.
about Hunter Biden.
Scrub daddy.
Where are we going with this? I mean,
Scrub daddy.
So
That's what you were talking about.
so
Scrub daddy.
seriously, the
OxyClean,
oxymoron,
the powder.
the OxyClean. Yeah, we got some of that.
it's oxymoron in Mariana, but
Oh, that was good, Fred.
yeah.
You're not getting any clients from over there.
Moron.
Granted, we're on slow time, but we're
Moron.
we're pretty sharp.
That's what I thought it was
sharp.
something. You're an oxymoron. I'm like, a statement that doesn't make sense. Okay. All right. So,
Anyway,
yeah.
we got Paul here. Segment 4. We're going to ask him
Yeah,
about
we'll
fishing.
talk about fishing.
Let's talk about some
He
fishing.
was like fired up when he came in today.
Yeah, it was
about-
that last before that kind of freaked me out.
Yeah, y'all talking about the
But
Okay, so for those of you that don't know, we're not going to discuss it on the air, but the off-air break was an entire conversation about the villages and scrunchies and colors of scrunchies. So any of y'all in
Well,
the know,
we-
Google the villages scrunchy colors.
And that all started
that's the
because
whole conversation.
last segment, Fred mentioned scrunchies and the villages in the same segment, about 10 minutes apart. But I know where his brain was. I have his brain.
You know
I
where
got-
his brain is
I got
all the
him
time.
figured out.
No,
So.
what he's got is my browser history.
For him to have a thought, he's got to reach down in the gutter and bring his
the stuff you scrape off the bottom of your shoes is where is where Fred's brain lives.
For Fred to have a higher thought, he has to hit the elevator button. Let me get out from down here and get up there.
So
I can talk to
in
y'all.
my world, I got to be able to relate to some of these folks, And
So some of your clients have probably lived in the nether regions of society. Some of you've got some. You also have some reputable. Hey, I've used your services for people I know. I've given recommendations to good people. So it's not like you're not like a public defender anymore. You're a private attorney.
No, but rich people can be a little bit
if they have money.
They're innocent if they have money.
Rich people can be. I promise you.
I don't work for free.
Lord. So anyway, we shocked Paul on the last segment. So
Apparently, he had some clients from the villages that he didn't know well.
He said they could fish good.
Yeah, they sure can. I tell you what, caught some fish too.
I bet you did.
Yeah, they sure did.
Oh, I could go so bad right now. I have all these one-liners just floating around in my head. I'm just going to step away. I can't get to Fred level. I'm going to step away.
Unlike Fred, you have some couth and level of scruples. Yeah, you have some discipline. Discipline, that's what it is.
I lost all that when
So
I
you said earlier the fish were biting?
Yes, they have been biting. The water temperatures finally hit below 60 degrees for about 3 hours yesterday. Got down to 59, but the cooler the water gets, Charlie, the better the fishing is going to get for sure. Had a really great day catching bass on spinner baits, chatter baits, and crankbaits last week. I think we caught 10. The smallest one was about 4 pounds. The big one was about 7. So really, good stringer
That's a good
fish.
Day. That's a real good day.
The crappie are really bunching up, getting thick. You know what I mean? And that's fun fishing right there. I know there's this big thing on YouTube about live scope, people not liking it, people, you know what I mean? And to me, that's just more information to make decisions when you're fishing.
Yeah, and as long as you're not going out there and just completely destroying the resource, and you're managing how many you put in the box and take home is
exactly.
Crappie don't freeze good.
Talking about that right there, JD. I've found schools of crappie, they'd be 3,000-4,000. I mean, they're solid. From if they're in 25 foot of water, from 12 foot deep all the way to 20. 20 foot wide. You can see them out there. You throw your bait out there and you watch your jig fall to them. Now, yes, there's times they'll run up and hit it, but they'll sit there and just because you can see them don't mean they're going to bite. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's based on weather and environmental conditions. But
to go back to what you were saying,
fun, though.
You said people on YouTube. What are you talking about?
Well, there's a live scope. Where you can actually see the fish swimming around live in the water. So it's like for your electronics.
It's a souped-up sonar system,
Fred.
It's
like
the
radar.
Old fish. It's like the old fish finders, except it's active sonar.
And it's live.
It's live,
and you can see them swimming around.
You can actually, Fred. You can throw your bait out there, watch your bait fall, watch the fish come up and hit it, and you feel it.
There's a couple of 3 different brands of it, but it's all the same kind of stuff.
But it shows it like it's not like directly under the boat.
No, it is a side scan. Wow. It's a side scan view that you can direct.
That's right.
You can direct the direction you want to look. You can see bass. You can see.
Can you use
anything?
Salt water?
Hey, I saw a cormorant the other day swimming in the water.
Yeah, I'm sure you did. Yeah,
it came up right in front of me. I was like, "What kind of fish is that?" And it popped up right in front of me.
Yes, you can use it in salt water. Yes,
they have really good versions.
You could in our world grouper at 25 foot, 30 foot of water. I don't know what the depth, how deep. Do you have to program it for a different depth?
You just set it on the dial. You just if I'm in 20 foot of water, I'm gonna set it so it's showing 25.
Showing from the bottom up.
That's right.
Just like you would setting your sonar.
That's right.
How did I not know about this?
I don't know, Fred. I don't know.
I guess I need to go back and reevaluate what I'm looking at on the internet. I mean.
That's probably a real safe bet.
It's a matter of priority.
That's a real safe bet.
Yeah. So, geez, This is amazing.
So live scan's been out for what, 5 or 6 years?
Yeah, about 8 years. You know, it started getting really popular in your big Bassmaster Elite tournaments. Most of your guys have been winning. These new kids have spent the time to learn it. Yeah. Newer anglers, and they're kind of taking over.
So, Fred, if you ever watch bass fishing tournaments on TV, or you see clips of bass fishing, when they've got 3 or 4 screens up on the front of their boat from where they're fishing from, and you see all these computer screens up, that's what's going on.
That's right.
They don't just have a depth. I'm poor. I don't have a live scan because they're not cheap. You're looking at about $2,000, $2,500.
About $3,000.
So
if my wife is listening to this show,
that'd be a great Christmas present.
Yeah.
Tell her to get a Garmin.
So and I use Humminbird stuff. Right.
So I like Humminbird too.
But you can plug it into a Garmin,
but you're probably gonna want a separate monitor.
Yes, you will.
And
you got one on your boat?
Yes, sir.
And on a saltwater boat, unless you have if you would probably want to run it off the back of the boat, and maybe something you could deploy when you get to wherever you're fishing and look around. You can see what's down there, and you can, by the size, you can tell the difference between. Really? Yeah, if you got a bunch of little fish down there, you know it's bait. If you you can look at the size differences, it's very obvious, and you can actually watch. Like Paul said, I've seen it. I mean, you can see the fish, you can throw to the fish, you can watch the fish move to the bait. So it is a tool that, if used poorly, it is a very much a huge advantage and a huge advancement for fishing.
Yes,
and all these years I've been strapping a cinder block on my kid and throwing him overboard with a mask.
What'd you see?
He's gonna love this thing.
It's
going to give you very definite, very defined structure. You know, it's using the same side scan sonar technology that the military's had for years. At the sheriff's office, we had a towfish that was a couple $100,000, and that the sheriff's office got donated by the government. And we used to use it for when we were going to dive something in open water, and you're looking for structure, or you're looking for a drowning victim or a car or whatever.
Was that live imaging, JD? Was that live?
Oh yeah,
really?
Yeah. Wow. So you're towing that towfish, and somebody's sitting back there on a monitor watching it.
Yeah.
You know, watching the screen, and it was rudimentary it was actually probably not as good as what you have on your boat now. Because when we got it, it was a hand-me-down from the Navy, and I'm sure they got much better stuff now. So we got a hand-me-down unit that originally had cost like $300,000, and then you had to go to school to learn how to interpret what you see. But I can tell you this: it was sensitive enough. The equipment we had when we were learning to use it down at the St. Andrews Pass, there was a sailboat that had sunk out in the pass, and we did a drive-by on it and looked at it, and you could see the wire railings in between the posts on the deck. You could see the mast, and you could see the ropes, and you literally you could see. We ran over a bicycle. We drug it past a bicycle on the bottom, and you could tell it was a bicycle.
So it's harder to dump. I mean, you can't get away with it. You can't dump the body in the ocean anymore. And you got to find somewhere else.
Human bodies, or any kind of body in the water doesn't last very long. So you better start hunting it pretty quick. You know, it doesn't take.
How long does that last?
Depending on where it's at and what time of year it is.
Let's just say December.
You're asking some very specific questions there, Fred.
And I want to mention, JD, too, if anybody wants to give out a Christmas gifts for fishing this year, I'm going to do a discounted rate. They can give me a call.
Great idea.
Or reach out to me at 850-264-7534.
And he'll demonstrate that live scope.
We'll demonstrate that live scope.
Yeah, I got to see that thing.
It's cool.
That's pretty neat. Well, I guess we don't get to talk about Hunter Biden today.
What do you want to talk about?
$872,000.
Is he going to jail?
Of course not.
All right, we'll see y'all next week.
Hey, guys.